Disclaimer. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Do not attempt this at home. Vitiated how-to will not be responsible because you decided to be a cheap ass and not hire a professional.
On with the show.
Next up is the rear engine mount, which is this damn thing. And as you can see from here, that's the top of the bracket right there. And if you kind of move around a little bit, that silver thing right there, that's the engine mount right there, or motor mount, whatever you want to call it, the actual engine mount. That bolt right there is a 10 millimeter. That one there is an 18. Come on this side here. That one there is another 18. Those are the two on top. That there, that one right there, there's another 18. You got 4 18s total. You got 3 on top. There's one going to be on that side over there once you remove that heat shield. There's another bolt underneath that, but I can't get to it yet. I'm showing you this. Now this here, use a screwdriver or a tool that they make to remove that, but that's got to come off too. But before we climb underneath there, disconnect the battery. I have it on ramps, and I got my jack, because I'm gonna climb underneath there like that because I don't have jack stands. That's what I have. But because where I live, and I can barely fit underneath there, so anybody else bigger than me, you ain't fitting. So I do pretty good getting underneath there, and I'm gonna attack it from the back. But I'm taking, go ahead and put my jack up under transmission, because everything else is gonna hold it. I just need it for leverage a little bit. I'm gonna set it right there. Let me back up. Right on that hump a little bit, like I did for that side engine mount that I did earlier. So this is the last one and the hardest one. So we're gonna get after it. On this heat shield that's underneath here, I'm close up and I can't help it. That's 11 millimeter, and that one there is an 8 millimeter. And just undo that. Set it off to the side. Throw it in the yard like I do everything else. I'm gonna do things a little different. Okay, this heat shield right here, there's a 10 millimeter bolt right there. And then in the beginning of this video, I showed you there was one on top. That's the other one you got to get to, but I can't get my hand and a phone up in there. So there's one there, trust me, and it's 10 millimeter, and you can reach it pretty easy. This one here is just a little bit harder. You take them both out, and this heat shield comes out. Well, as you can kind of see here, this is the bracket holding the top part of the engine mount. This is a 15 millimeter. You just use a ratchet and pull it out. Right there's one of the 18 millimeters that's on the side. The other ones I showed you in the beginning of the video on the top. Well, that one right there, you can't get to it very easily. You need a deep well 18 millimeter. It'd make it easier. I don't have one, so yeah, it's hard. And the ratchet I'm using is a torque wrench that I got from Harbor Freight. That's about 2 foot long, because you can't get a pipe in here to be able to do this. And all the other videos, the ass clowns don't tell you that. So you find that out the hard way. If you have kind of a swivel ratchet, that would work too, but it's got to be at least 2 foot. If not, you're not going to be able to do it, and you got to be really goddamn strong to break it. Luckily, I was able to break it. I didn't think I was going to. Damn. Well, that's what I used as a breaker bar, and as you can see, I'm getting them from the top because I ain't got the damn strength to get them from the bottom. And I can't get it high enough to get the leverage either. So, if you can see that and that there, I'm reaching them from the top. I just couldn't get that one that was on the side. I had to get it the way I got it, but I'm gonna get these goddamn things one way or the other. Okay, see if I can do this. There's one bolt right there. That's a 16 millimeter. That goes to that. And if you go right directly across from it, there's another one underneath that you can reach. It's a 16 millimeter. And then if you go to the front of it, come on. Damn it. Go right there to the front of it. I can't get it to do what I wanted. And right there, that's the one in front of it. That'd be the first one you touch. And then if you go right over next to it, I can see it, but you'll be able to feel it. There's another one right there. That's a 16 millimeter as well. You pull them out, and then you have the stupid thing out. And then you just put everything back the way it was, the way you took it out. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and a little side note. Pulling that bracket that's on top, you're gonna have to pull one from here, and then you have to get the other two from in there if you don't have the tools. If you don't have one of the long pry bars that has like a CV bend to it or whatever. Because trying to do it with a straight ratchet, it's gonna be a real pain in the ass, and you're not gonna be able to get a pry bar up in there or a piece of pipe attached to it. I've tried. So you're gonna have a 2 foot long ratchet. That's the only way you're getting that bad boy. Unless you put it up on a lift. But if you're using jacks or jack stands or ramps, you ain't getting it. Little FYI, when you pull out the bracket, when you pull out the bolts for the actual motor mount, engine mount, they're different sizes. The ones in the front facing forward of the car, they're shorter than those that are in the back. It don't look it, but trust me, they are. They're a little bit different. So you got to make sure you put in the right ones in the right spot. And I know this because I pay attention. So the little shiny thing is my socket and the extension. This is the exhaust, and this is the cross member going to the back. You're going to have to stick your hand in there and reach up in the bolts here that I showed you, facing down. And there's the other one. You're going to have to literally kind of hug it. Stick one hand here and one in the back. And that's the only way you're going to be able to unratchet it, or unscrew it, and then ratchet it back when you need to put it back on. Trust me, it's a real pain in the ass, but it is what it is. And I'm done videoing because I gotta get this shit done. Good luck. Well, I can't do the flash, but that little bolt right there, there's a bolt there. You gotta put it in the damn engine mount first. And the bracket, that's right there. You gotta put all that together first. Put the bracket. Then you gotta make sure you put this bolt back in, but you don't put it back in too far. You just put it in enough to hold it. Then you're gonna need to relocate your jack and block to under this. It's part of the exhaust. It'll work fine. You just gotta get it back up and rejack the engine back up. Just high, a little bit higher than what it was before. You're gonna need to be able to adjust the jack, whether you can lift it up or lower it. So you might have to figure out a way to turn the jack backwards so the handle is underneath the vehicle with you. Because when you go to put the other bolts in, you're going to have to be able to lift it and lower it until you can get those bolts in. You're going to need to start with one where I got labeled. Try to get that one in. Then you should be able to get number 2 in. If not, you'll have to adjust the jack again just a little. Then you'll be able to get 2 and 3 in. Once you got them in, you got to tighten them down pretty good, almost all the way down, and then you'll be able to get 4 in. After you've gotten all of them tightened in, then you go back and tighten number 5 in, which is on the side. You tighten this one that's on the side, tighten it all the way down like you did the other 4, and then you go back and you torque everything to specs. Everybody made that job look easy. It really wasn't, believe me. It took about 9 hours to pull it off. Well, I took a break in between too, but it's very doable. And it was getting dark and I was in a hurry, so I didn't really film it too well. But hopefully you learned something from it. The place where I bought it from made a video of how to do it, but they didn't explain the other tools you needed. And they had a man lift. If you're using a jack, it's really hard. Jacking ramps, it's really hard to do. But it is doable. And next time I will pay somebody to do it. Fuck that shit.